blessed risings, good afternoon, or good evening. Depending on where in the world you are tapping in from, you got to keep in mind that Keep It P podcast is a global show, and today we will be discussing Nobody Believes Us. Three Brooklyn teens say retired NYPD officer chased fired gun at them after one boy hit surveillance camera with basketball. Chief releases cop minutes after arrest. We'll be discussing that and more when we return from these brief messages on the Hakuna Matata Hour.
Von Savage Media. Von Savage Media.
Welcome back to the Keep It P podcast, where we take news, situations, and everyday occurrences, and we show how one could or could not be keeping it P. And today I am your host, TZ Von Savage, in the place to be. This is Atlanta Black Star article by Nicole Mann. Three teenage boys are speaking out following their encounter with a retired NYPD police officer who chased them in New York City for several minutes, allegedly with his gun drawn. On November 24th, 2021, three boys named Kiwan, Kiel, and Brendan. I thought we didn't release the names of victims. Now, maybe Atlanta Crack Star has a different policy, but any other time, any of those other publications where you have children that are victims, they say we're not releasing those juveniles' names, unless, of course, they're black, which seems to be the only difference. Their ages are between 12 and 14. They were playing with a basketball on Saratoga Avenue as they walked past a real estate business in Brooklyn. Please don't patronize that business. One of the boys hit a surveillance camera for the business with the basketball before running away down Pacific Street. Should he have done that? Of course not. Does that warrant said being chased down and assaulted with a firearm? It does not. Retired NYPD officer Kruythoff Forrester's family owns the business and chased the boys for several blocks and allegedly drew his gun on them. I'd like to know what time this was. What was you doing at the real estate business? And you just watched them? There's a window there. You seen them on camera. A video of part of the chase shows one of the teens yelling, "He's got a gun, BJ." According to the teens, they heard one or more gunshots, but did not see Forrester fire his weapon. How you gonna see somebody fire a weapon when you're running? You gonna keep looking behind behind yourself? Only white people do that. It's in the movies. One of the boys ran home and dialed 911 while the other two ran in the opposite direction. Why y'all didn't run to the boys' crib too? Forrester is heard admitting that he told the teens, you come back, I'll shoot you," but claimed he never removed or drew his gun. But you had the gun on you and you did chase him with the gun. Forrester was arrested and taken to jail at the 73rd Precinct. However, he was released after spending just 38 minutes in his jail cell once NYPD Chief Jeffrey Madre. I'm smelling tetheristics. There's some cooneristic, tetheristics going on here. I haven't figured it out quite yet, but I'm smelling cheetah pea and tether jerky all around me with a side of these nuts. Madre was the NYPD chief of community affairs at the time of Forrester's arrest. The cameras are on, recording all night. Oh, sorry, okay, replied Forrester. He is later given a cell phone while in his cell. Wow, so this is how we do it. Kiel, now 15, his little brother, 13-year-old Brendan, and their 15-year-old cousin, Kiwan, appeared shy when they spoke with Ebro Barden from Hot 97 radio on April 6, 2023 about being chased by Forrester. That buster. Bro, get your hawking, culture vulturing behind out of here. You don't care about them young boys. It was the worst time of my life, said Kiel. I thought I wouldn't make it home to my mom. I was scared for my life. The teenager added that he ran to a friend's house and saw Forrester standing outside waiting for him. That ain't menacing. That ain't insulting. That ain't terroristic. None of that? Okay. I was trying to go to my ex-girlfriend's house. Here you go, boy. Now, I ain't going to disparage, and this ain't got nothing to do with that. But where's the boy's parents at? And I'm going to leave that alone. I was trying to go to my ex-girlfriend's house after the incident because I was trying to get off the street, he said, and he was standing across the street staring at me with his hands in his pocket like he was waiting for me. Family advocate Victor Dempsey was also interviewed with the boys. Dempsey's brother, Deshaun Delron Small, was killed by an off-duty police officer in 2016 during a road rage incident. Dempsey noted that one of the boys had to hide in a stairwell to get away from Forrester and ran in a zigzag pattern while trying to get away because he was afraid of being shot. No charges were pressed against Forrester, and Brendan said that they were scared to go outside after learning that Forrester was released from jail. All we heard was that he was out, and we tried to stay in the house more to get away from him or his block with his store. He called it a store. So is it a real estate agency? I'm smelling fish sticks. There's something fishy going on with this man's business. But we ain't going to look into that, right? There's fish sticks with this man's business. Kiwan added that he tried to stay calm after the terrifying incident by staying with his grandmother. At first, I stayed calm by staying at my grandma's house first, said Kiwan. That's it. Dempsey said that the kids now go out on their way they go out of their way to go to the basketball court to avoid Forrester. He also said that they want State Attorney General Letitia James to conduct a investigation and for Madre to be fired. These young men were hiding. Let's be clear about that. They were hiding in their own communities because of the fear that this guy might do something again. Nah, not this guy. Former slave patrol. Added Dempsey. Once slave patrol, always slave patrol. Obviously. Because of the fear that their voices are being suppressed and nobody's listening to them. Forrester claims that he was the victim and denied ever drawing his weapon on the three boys. You're the victim all while you're chasing, menacing, waiting for children outside of homes? Wow. But you're the victim. That smells real Tetherino. Tetherino, Privilegio, Mexicano even. I'm smelling all kind of tahine. Yeah, I'm smelling it. It continues, however, the three boys all correctly described Forrester's weapon. How? A 9mm handgun to NYPD officers. How'd they do that? I wonder. When asked what the gun looked like in separate interviews, one of the teens answered it was It was black with a little bit of silver. The other two also recalled the gun being black and silver. I wonder how they did it. Oh, let me see. Meeny, meeny, miny, mo. It was black and silver. Shut up. A spokesperson for the NYPD Sergeant Edward Riley said Forrester was released because they could not verify he drew his weapon. They just described it. How would they know what it looked like? And claimed that video surveillance did not capture Forrester with his weapon drawn. The individual who was detained is a retired police officer and legally licensed pistol holder, said Riley. He denied drawing or pointing his weapon during the incident. They ordered investigators whose very job is to uncover misconduct to look further into the incident and found that the facts relayed by the teenagers were contradicted by the retired officer and cannot be verified by the video, spot shotter, or any other witness, Riley later said. Based on that, the arrest was voided and the retired officer was released. When have you ever voided an arrest because you were wrong? You've never voided an arrest because you were wrong. Shut up. Mayor Eric Adams also showed support for Forrester. Dang, so you can't be a little black boy and get no respect. He also showed support for Forrester, as did a group of local clergy members. Not even the church. Couldn't get no love from the church. The three teenagers told Darden that it made them feel like nobody believed them. Dempsey claimed that the NYPD is covering up the incident, of course, as all the other incidents. Not the first, won't be the last. Feels like we're by ourselves, said Kiel. It feels like nobody believes us. They want Chief Madre fired, added Dempsey. He intervened. Wow. Wow. They can't get nobody to believe them. Can't get nothing, huh? Little black boys try to do the right thing, call 911. You called the slave patrol, and it's a shame that you ain't being taught better. Where's your parents at? I'm smelling a lot of cooning and buffooning going on.
On the
Here you
streets
go.
of Brownsville, Brooklyn, a retired cop chased and threatened children after one of them
Fair
damaged
use.
his family's storefront camera.
I came out, I said, you broke my camera, you come back, I'm going to shoot you.
Hold on. I ain't going to play the whole thing. They got a lot of action. You know I got to do all this first. Here we go. I'm going to play a little bit, though. I'm going to play a little bit.
On the streets of Brownsville, Brooklyn, a retired cop chased and threatened 3 children after one of them damaged his family's storefront
Over
camera.
a basketball cast?
You broke my camera, you come back, I'm going to shoot your ass.
Police from the local precinct are officer for allegedly menacing the kids with a gun, which in New York involves intentionally putting someone
How'd
in
they
fear
know
of
what
death
the gun
or imminent
looked like?
physical injury.
Call Sergeant Lewis.
Look, tell Jay to call Cuz.
Yet, rather than getting processed and arraigned, the former cop was removed from a jail cell within 40 minutes and released 2 hours later. The NYPD claims an investigation was conducted that night, which led to his release.
Mexicano,
but video
white
footage
guy?
newly
Look, they
obtained by
laughing,
the city
joking.
offers a rare behind-the-scenes look at how 2 top NYPD chiefs, one now the highest-ranking officer in the department, intervened.
Wow.
36 videos, culled from police body-worn cameras and neighborhood and police precinct surveillance cameras, detail retired officer Kruythoff Forrester's arrest on the evening before Thanksgiving in 2021 and release just hours later. They were obtained via public disclosure law from the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office. It began with 3 youths walking past Forrester's father's building in Brownsville. Their families wish for them to remain anonymous. Video shows their basketball striking Forrester's family's storefront camera. The kids, at the time ages 12, 13, and 14, say Forrester followed them, pointed his gun at one of them, and chased them for blocks.
Hot pursuit. You know he got that strap.
While multiple videos show portions of Forrester's 7-minute pursuit of the kids through Brownsville streets, the retrieved footage doesn't show him drawing his gun. Still, when cops
He
first
clearly
encountered the
holding
hired
it.
cop, they found him with a licensed 9mm gun worn on his right hip. He insisted he never took it out of the holster.
I tried to walk up behind them. I didn't take it out. It's in my waist. It's in my waist. It's in my waist. Your waist? Yeah, I didn't take it out. I'm just gonna take it out. Yeah, go ahead. I said you come back. You come back. I'm gonna shoot you. But I didn't take it out.
Questioned later by 73rd Precinct Sergeant Carl
He said on the
Hanisch,
tape that he
Forrester
said he
offered
gonna
an
shoot
explanation
cuz.
for why the kids might have thought he was carrying a gun.
I just put my hoodie on. And I put my hand in my pocket with my keys like this. And I'm camera was like, yo, when you book my camera, man. And he looked back and I have my hand like this. I believe he's this. He was like, yo, got a gun. Just like that. I never got my gun. My voice the whole time. My hoodie just like this. Just like this.
How would he know he actually had it?
He said that I had a gun.
Yet in separate interviews, the children were able to accurately
They was able to
describe
describe the
the gun
gun.
on Forrester.
How was they able to
color was
describe
it?
the gun?
On the gun, it was black and like a little bit of silver.
He described the gun?
Yeah, it's silver and black on the thing.
And were consistent in where he drew it from.
And where did he pull it from?
The third one, you take
He tried to.
Alright.
He put out the gun from somewhere over here and then just was walking with it towards me. And
You have it?
Yeah, I never took it out.
Where is it?
I never once took it out.
Wow.
Never once took it out.
The matching responses about
Exactly
what the gun looked
like they
and where Forrester
described
pulled
it.
it from led Hanisch to order Forrester's arrest, known in police code as a 1092.
Maybe 92. They described the gun, they described where he pulled it from. It's two, the guy says this, but they said silver and black on top. Told me he pulled it from the side waist where he has his holster.
How would they know all
At this
that?
point it is. So, it's hard to say someone's got a gun and describe a gun and then that guy has a gun and it matches.
Shortly
And then
after being
here we go, all
handcuffed,
common
Forrester
sense.
invokes the name of Jeffrey Madry,
I thought it was up to Chief Marjorie. It's all right.
then Chief of Community Affairs, and now NYPD's
I'm
highest
smelling
ranking
tether,
uniformed
man.
officer,
Tetheristics.
Chief of Department. Madry was Forrester's former supervisor.
Look, tell Jay to call Sergeant Lewis. And also Sergeant Lewis call Chief Marjorie for me.
At the precinct, Forrester twice asked for police personnel to contact Madry on his behalf.
Wow. So just
When he asks
call the
a second
homies.
time, someone in the station house reminds him security cameras are recording.
Look, tell my can I call Chief Marjorie because my phone is in my
cameras are on recording.
Sorry. Okay.
Minutes later, Forrester is placed in a holding cell. Soon, the intervention began. A succession of officers walked to the cell to greet Forrester and lend him a cell phone. He had worked for 15 years
Wow.
at that very precinct, including years under Madry, who was the precinct
the
commander starting in
cell phone?
2006. Locked up for just 30 minutes, Forrester was moved to another room in the house away from the cell area. For a chief to get involved in a precinct-level arrest,
That's definitely not something that happens
Wow.
according to retired 30-year NYPD veteran Detective Michael Alcazar.
normally. A chief doesn't show up at the
Gonzalo
precinct to avoid it.
Cazar.
That's I've never seen that.
Yet,
Yeah,
about an
void an
hour after
arrest,
Forrester
what I
asked for
say.
him, Chief Madry arrives at the precinct. At the time, he oversaw the NYPD's community relations and was responsible for building trust in the police.
Wow.
Soon after, Brooklyn North Deputy Chief Scott Henderson, former
Now
colleague
they-
of Madry's,
now I
walks
think that's
into the
the brother
station
that
house
they done
through the
brought
back
in.
door.
So the tethers unite.
An hour after the two chiefs arrived,
And they gonna
Forrester
pull the
walked
real
out of the
brother down.
precinct's main door and greeted Madry in the lobby. About 20 minutes
That's what
later,
happens when you
Forrester
get out
left
there
the
cooning and
precinct, his
buffooning.
arrest voided. NYPD guidelines allow for arrests to be voided reasonable cause to believe the prisoner did not commit the offense, but the reason for it
Never
must be
seen a
documented.
voided
The
arrest before.
NYPD declined to provide that documentation when asked. Madry and Henderson's activities while in the precinct house were not captured in the footage obtained by the city. An NYPD spokesperson said Madry and Henderson didn't order the arrest voided. They ordered an investigation,
Get
which
outta
found
here.
that the facts relayed by the teenagers were dictated by the retired officer and could not be verified by the video ShotSpotter audio tracking system.
Thought you just
or
said
any
it
other
wasn't
witness.
voided.
The NYPD declined to answer questions about the extent of that night's investigation, including how many witnesses were questioned and how many surveillance cameras were accessed before release. In total, Forrester spent 2 hours and 41 minutes at the precinct before walking
And then out
the
the
back door.
door.
Forrester, Madry, and Henderson did not respond to our request for
With
comment.
the homies.
The Brooklyn DA's office, which reviewed and its aftermath, found no criminality, and the
No
NYPD's Internal
criminality.
Affairs Bureau found no misconduct by Madry
No
or Henderson.
misconduct.
A probe by the Civilian Complaint Review Board, a police oversight agency,
Oh, and the
is ongoing.
civilian board that's
Last
supposed
note,
to be
the
of the
families of the three
community.
youths filed a civil action against
Watch when
Forrester,
they say we
asserting
didn't
that their
find
sons
nothing
continue to
either.
suffer from severe anxiety and distress. During the incident,
We ain't
the
gonna
court papers
believe
say,
little black
the boys
boys.
feared for
Period.
their
Point
lives.
blank is what we learned here today. That's it. That's all. We're done here. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm just gonna mold you, fold you, and scold you about being off code. Gonna leave you with 4 words, as we always do around this time, which is love, peace, blessings, and aloha. Gotta go ha. Out the Doha for show ha. Big brother, light bright, supreme, almighty, signing off.
Vaughn, Savage, Media. Vaughn, Savage, Media.